The Pittsburgh Steelers have officially finished all of OTA's rookie minicamp and mandatory minicamp as well. DK Metcalf, Aaron Rodgers, and a bunch of new faces already starting to showcase their ability to potentially break out this season for the Pittsburgh Steelers. But even so, there are a couple of guys that are interested in potentially joining this Pittsburgh Steelers team. And in this video, we're going to break down one or two players that could be on their way to the Pittsburgh Steelers in a couple of weeks that could drastically help this team win games next season. However, before we dive into the video, I want you guys to do me a favor and comment down below two players, one player on each side of the football that you believe could potentially break out and be an X factor for the Steelers this season. And with that being said, let's dive into the video.
The Dolphins continue to have conversations about trading Jaylen Ramsey, and I think that a trade there will get done. The question is, when does it get done? Does it get done next week, the week after, prior to the start of training camp? I don't know exactly when it's going to be, but Jaylen Ramsey will get traded. It'll be, I would expect, before the start of training camp. We'll see how it shakes out, where he goes. I think he would like to go to the West Coast, to Los Angeles, Rams, Chargers, somewhere like that, and we'll see how that happens.
Now, over the past couple of days, we have seen a little bit of speculation. Jaylen Ramsey to the Pittsburgh Steelers, but where is this coming from, and why is it really taking over the media right now? Well, look at this post, right? The NFL said the new vets on the Pittsburgh Steelers, and they went through a whole slide of just showing the new veterans in Pittsburgh, and he did happen to like that post. Now, does that mean anything at all? No. Maybe he's just a fan of DK Metcalf or a friend of Darius Slay, right? And is supporting one of his friends. But it does get a little bit more interesting after that. So when you actually look through Jaylen Ramsey's most recently followed people on Instagram, he's followed Deshaun Elliott, who is a Pittsburgh Steeler. He's followed DK Metcalf, a Steeler. Joey Porter Jr., a Steeler. King James, which, okay, doesn't really make any sense here. He also followed Luka as well, so that's interesting. But also Darius Slay, Dante Jackson, a former Steeler, so that one's another interesting one as well. But you can see a lot of Pittsburgh Steelers that he's just followed. Now, again, does it mean anything? Not specifically, but it's definitely interesting. There's also videos circulating of him training at UCLA in similar locations to where Aaron Rodgers and DK Metcalf met up to train prior to them getting or signing Aaron Rodgers officially. So there's a lot of things happening right now that lead us to believe that Jaylen Ramsey is not only signaling to everybody that the Pittsburgh Steelers are definitely on the radar, but definitely a team that can come up and go get him via trade with the Miami Dolphins. However, there are a lot of other teams as well that want Jaylen Ramsey, and you heard Adam Schefter say the Rams, the Chargers, the 49ers are some of the teams that may want him, but he wants to go to the West Coast. He wants to be the sunny side of the states, right? So Pittsburgh, the opposite side, but definitely a team that could utilize him within their defense. Now, a lot of people immediately look at the fit and they wonder, would he be a good fit with this Pittsburgh Steelers defense? Obviously, yes, you have Joey Porter Jr. on the outside. You have Darius Slay, who is getting a little bit older, but still is coming off a championship, right? Coming off that Super Bowl win in Philadelphia. And then you have some guys in the slot and the nickel that are pretty good, right? Beanie Bishop is coming off a year where he forced a lot of interceptions. You add Brandon Nichols, or Eccles, I should say, from the New York Jets. I do like him, and he's another guy that's slowly been breaking out. And then you have Dante Kent. So, yes, you do have a lot of guys that they like in the DB room, but I feel like Jaylen Ramsey would take this team to a different level. And yes, he is 30 years old, 208 pounds, and is 6'1", but he has been a guy who has been very efficient throughout the entirety of his career, and he's an absolute dog. Fits the culture of Pittsburgh, in what they want to do, right? Now, when you look at his overall grades here, he was actually 10th, the 10th best corner in football last year when it came to stopping the run. So right away, the first thing you look at when you look at Jaylen Ramsey is someone that's not afraid to come down and make a big-time hit. That is something I love with the boundary corner. Go make some plays, right? Don't be scared to lower that shoulder and go make a tackle. But also, very good when you send him in on blitz, right? If you want to put him in the nickel and you just want to say, hey, go get to the quarterback. This is a guy that does it efficiently from a DB standpoint. 19th in the NFL at getting to the quarterback when he does blitz from the cornerback position, but overall ranked 16th among 222 cornerbacks in the NFL just last season. Again, this dude is a difference maker. Had 12 pressures. He had 12 quarterback pressures last year. Okay, they like sending him to the quarterback. He had 2 interceptions. He had 40 solo tackles. 46 receptions allowed, which was about 35th in the NFL. Not too bad at all. If you asked me, this dude would be a perfect fit in this Pittsburgh Steelers defense. But let's break down the film. Let me show you even more why. However, before we dive into the video, I do ask one little favor from you guys. Make sure you guys do me a big favor. Hit the like button if you haven't already done so. Helps out the channel so much. But also, and more importantly, make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel. If you are new, it is free. It doesn't cost anything to join the family. And we will be covering the Pittsburgh Steelers throughout the entirety of this offseason. What does that include, you may be asking? Well, not only are we going to cover all of training camp, we're also going to cover preseason, right? Breaking down offense, defensive film, individual player breakdowns for film as well, and for the regular season. So make sure you guys join the family. Again, we got you guys covered, so make sure you guys lock in with us. And with that being said, let's kind of dive back into the video and talk a little bit more here about Jaylen Ramsey and why I think he would be a good fit. So this is a game versus the Buffalo Bills. The first thing you notice is they are in 13 personnel. If you guys don't know personnel, essentially that first number in every single personnel, whether it's 10, 11, 21, the first number is always going to represent the amount of running backs in the backfield, right? So we have one running back here. And then the second number is tight ends. So from what we see here, you got 1, 2, 3 tight ends, 13 personnel. You got 1 wide receiver out wide, and then you got Jaylen Ramsey on him, right? So whenever you're in these situations, you do need to expect a run. But quarterbacks like Josh Allen, they like to take advantages in one-on-one situations. However, Jaylen Ramsey is not that guy that you want to test in these situations. He's going to throw a quick slant, and it looks like it's there all day long. Now, the wide receiver makes a big mistake, and you cannot make mistakes around Jaylen Ramsey because he is a dog and he will fight for these interceptions. And now you will be saying, and I know you guys will comment, listen, that's an easy route. They get easy yards on this play. It's a win. It's a win route here for the wide receiver. He just doesn't come up with it. But what I want to show you guys, Ramsey, he comes with mistakes. If you make a mistake, you will pay for it. And that's one thing I love about Jaylen Ramsey is you really need to play clean football because if you don't, you're going to regret it. Another big time mistake, this time by the Raiders, as you see Jaylen Ramsey in a little bit of off zone coverage here. Looks like it's a cover 2, Tampa 2 look where you have your hook curls over the middle, you got your mid read, and then you got your 2 deep safeties, and then your cloud flats over to the sidelines, right? So beautiful job right here. Whenever you're in a zone, your job is to specifically read the quarterback's eyes because the majority of times they're going to tell you where they're going with the football. Now look at this. The quarterback expects them to break inside. Jacoby Myers breaks outside. And Jaylen Ramsey, again, takes advantage of this all day long. Look at this. Boom. Ball's behind. Easy interception. Get up and go. Man, again, don't make a mistake with Jaylen Ramsey in the area. Now, this is probably one of my favorite plays, and I feel like Pittsburgh Steelers fans are going to love this one because you can see the intensity. You can see the passion that he has for this game of football. And again, if the Pittsburgh Steelers are able to get him, you guys are going to love him. Again, look at this play here. So they're going to start off here. Again, 13 personnel, actually more like 22 personnel. I'm going to count this guy as a running back, 2 tight end set here. And here we go. Trevor Lawrence is going to just hand this ball off to the left side. Jaylen Ramsey was in coverage, But now that it's a run, he's biting down. Again, look at the pursuit, okay? Now he does get out of the area. Travis Etienne goes all the way around this field. I want you guys to keep an eye on Jaylen Ramsey on this play, okay? He's right here. Just jumped over his teammate. Look at the hustle. Look at his pursuit. Look at his angling here. Great job. And then lowers his shoulder to make a massive hit. If you guys don't like Jaylen Ramsey as a football player, I don't know who you would like, man. This guy's a dog. He does whatever it takes, and he's willing to put his body on the line to win football games. You absolutely love these type of players on your football team. And that's a big-time stop and a big-time game for the Miami Dolphins last year. I'm all in. If the Pittsburgh Steelers are able to get this man on their football team, I'm all in, man. Darius Slay, Joey Porter, and Jaylen Ramsey in the secondary with Minka and Deshaun Elliott. Dude, sign me up. With that being said, hit the like button, subscribe, join the family, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.